You found true friendship in lizards.
Welcome to the Bridge 9 Podcast, episode number 15. I'm Tyler. Welcome to the Bridge 9 Podcast, episode number 15. I'm Tyler.
I'm Brian.
I'm Ryan.
Schultz is having a lot of problems with his brain today, apparently.
Oh, I thought...
We just witnessed it. He totally froze and forgot his
we
name.
go with Tyler, Ryan, Brian.
Nope. We always do me,
Tyler,
you.
Brian, Ryan? Okay.
Yep. Like I said, his brain has been malfunctioning for the better half
I'm
of
hurting,
29
man.
years.
I'm hurting.
You're not even on oxys
I
either.
know.
I'm on ibuprofen, though.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, I don't have ibuprofen. It's crazy,
Your
man.
brain's all fucked up.
Yeah. It is fucked up.
All right. Well, let's get some promo out of the way real quick. We got a bunch of pre-orders right now. Some cool stuff. We got War on Women, their self-titled album, Bridge 9 debut. It's coming out February 10th. We have Alcoa Parlor Tricks. That's coming out February 24th. And the package deal is pretty sick. It's a little bit different than some of our usual stuff. And also, kind of coinciding with that, we got a B9 Warehouse show where Alcoa, Aviator, and James Carroll are playing.
From
so
Mend.
you can pick all that up from b9store.com. Buy it. We also have Caravel's Octave Split. That's a 12-inch split. It's out now digitally, but it's set to be released March 3rd on vinyl. We also got Gallows Desolation Sounds. That's coming out April 14th. Yeah, those are all of our pre-orders. Other than that, we get calendar we've been talking about for a little while, which is really tight. Coincides with our 20-year anniversary of being a label, or our 20 years down of being a label. You can get that free with any order of $30 or more, or you can just pick it up for $8 a pop. Also, real excited to announce, we got 2 new signings that we announced this week.
Woo!
Schultz, you said you wanted to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Wow.
Why do you got to be a dick, Ryan?
Go ahead. Go!
After the Fall, Upstate New York, punk trio. Their new record's pretty tight. That's called Dedication. It'll be out on May 12th. They're putting out a teaser 7-inch first on paper and plastic with 2 songs from the record that Carl Alvarez from The Descendants plays on. Also features backup vocals from Chad Price from All and John Snodgrass. They're putting out that 7-inch on April 7th, so you can pick that up from paper and plastic. If you like what you hear, which you can hear the title track from the record Dedication now on SoundCloud. If you like that, pick up the 7-inch and maybe, we'll have LP pre-orders for you pretty soon. Also, we announced this past week, Modern Pain, hardcore band from Texas. They're recording their new LP soon after putting out a 7-inch on 6 Feet Under last year. They're
sick.
They're pretty tight.
You're going to love it.
Cool
it's
mix.
Kind of has like an old school feel, but it's like heavy and fast too, which is cool.
Thinking they kind of combine stylistically like mid-80s hardcore with like mid-2000s hardcore. Accurate?
You think so?
Yeah.
Kind of. It almost has like power violence-y parts sometimes. Yeah. I know that's probably not what they're going for, but especially with like the old school sound, it kind of ends up sounding like that a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah. You'll
Fast
like
and
it.
Heavy.
You'll like it, I'm sure.
Good.
Excited to see how that turns out. So check those bands out. Give them a Facebook like, etc., etc.
Buy it.
Well, nothing to really buy yet, Tyler.
We'll buy everything until that's out and then buy that.
Okay.
But yeah, you can check all of this out at b9store.com or bridge9.com. You can get from one to the other pretty easily. So we got some good stuff. We got a lot going on.
Speaking of a lot going on, how you feeling, Chelsea?
You're recovering,
At
aren't
this
you?
moment.
A week after surgery, right?
Yeah, a week and 2 days at this point.
You were moaning at your desk earlier, so I don't think you're doing too well.
The pain comes and goes.
You're very dramatic.
There's a little pain of pulse of pain in my abdomen. It's not.
You do this thing
not
where
the
you
best.
close your eyes and you look like you can see your gums and your teeth and you go, ah.
Yeah, you're doing that
It
this
sounds like an exact good impression. Yeah,
It is pretty accurate. That's
that's what I sound like.
That's like
Pretty
straight up
much.
what he does.
pretty much.
What do you think
Suppose.
you do then?
Well, it's more like a.
That's worse,
It's
honestly.
gruffer.
It's gruffer. It's manlier, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a manly noise.
You're not feeling too good, though?
Men don't
Right
feel
now,
pain.
I'm okay. I'm in a good sitting position. Got that ibuprofen working for me.
You were hurting real bad earlier.
Yeah, it was rough.
Has the pain caused you to cry at all?
No.
No?
Who cries over pain like past their 20s?
I don't know. I figured if
Past their
anyone did, maybe
teens.
you did.
Yeah, I figure you would
No,
because
I
you're
don't
pretty
do that.
soft.
I just
No,
make,
he's
I,
manly. Remember, you
I just make the
clarified.
noises you accuse me of and curse a lot.
Fuck. Ow.
Ow, stop. Yeah, that's the noises I make.
How's the swelling doing? Last time we saw your wound,
Well,
it
you
was
guys
huge and
like
black.
to see it every day, so you watch the
We're
progress.
just trying to check in, make sure you're okay.
Yesterday, Schultz showed us his dick at lunch.
Very true.
You threatened me to take it out.
That's not true.
You locked the door.
That was
said,
not the
"Take your dick
situation.
out."
That was not the situation at all.
No.
You
Yeah.
pretty willingly
guys-
showed it to us.
You
You
guys
just
were
wanted
insisting
to.
upon seeing my penis,
That's not true.
making sure it's in working flaccid order.
We still don't know if it's working properly.
No, but did it look okay?
Let's touch upon the erection problem that we
There's
were
no
facing.
erection
Well,
problem.
last week you couldn't get
There
erect.
was.
I could get erect. I just didn't want to.
That's
but
not true. That
As
wasn't the
Jeff
case.
pointed out in the last podcast from RFC, you have no real desire to have sex or like get.
Did he say that? I thought he said
Yes.
like no. It ends up being that you can't. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying.
No, that's not
And
what he
didn't Ryan
said.
do research and said like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of people testimonials like my husband hasn't been able to get hard in like
Yes.
Yes,
years
but these were
now.
people in like their late 40s or early 50s, and
Doesn't matter.
How,
You're-
wait,
think
how do
these
you
were-
know? How do you know that for
they
sure?
said
Though
so. And I think these were like rare cases or whatever it was. It's more about the desire I didn't have or still don't have to some extent, rather than the ability. I can get erect.
Did you get erect? You claim to have gotten erect at work the other day when I was sending you material.
You were streaming me pictures of nude alternative models, one after the other, firing them away on GChat. Boom, boom.
And how did it make you feel?
Well, you're my friend. You wanted to make sure my penis was working, so I allowed myself to just get in the moment and look at the pictures. And yeah,
I'll have to admit
Got
I
erect.
don't believe this.
you
I don't
straight up
believe it.
don't
I think
believe.
you were because that wasn't this right on the heels of Ryan showing you the information that look at all these guys who never were able to get hard again because
Yeah.
of
It
this.
didn't make me that nervous because these were testimonials from like old people.
They weren't all old people. You read one that said they were like 40. Now you're assuming they're all old people.
That's kind of old.
That's not old. You're pretty much 40.
Pretty much 29 is pretty much 40.
Yeah.
You're not
Yes.
insanely far off.
If you're in second grade, maybe.
It had nothing to do with their age. It just had to do with the surgery.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I don't think age has anything
Yeah.
to do
Image
with it. So
nerve.
it's just a coincidence they got the surgery and all of a sudden their
I'm
erectile
sure
dysfunction
their
kicked
surgery
in.
was fucked up and like they fucked up.
I don't think it's
something
fucked up. I think this
around-
is just a symptom. It just happens to some guys.
You can sit there and not believe that I'm able to have an erection. I know that I have it and I'm doing fine.
Have you become erect since?
Yes.
Since- when did you become
Told
erect?
you. I tested it out this past weekend.
What does testing it out mean?
Masturbating, Ryan.
You
That's
masturbated.
testing it out.
You masturbated?
I wasn't necessarily in the mood, but I wanted to make sure it was all in working
So you
order.
forced yourself
I
to
didn't force
masturbate?
myself. I just went through the motions of a normal thing, and
You weren't really feeling it? So
Head
this
wasn't in
was
the game?
you're testing it out to make. What part were you testing out? Just to see if you could come to
get erect.
completion?
yeah, I got erect, come to completion.
Did
Test
you do
out?
it?
Yeah, it
Did
was
you
fine.
document it to make sure?
How was
I
the
didn't
erection?
document
Now?
it.
Was the erection strong?
It's for my
Was it-
own.
Yeah, was it a strong, full, healthy
Yes.
erection?
It wasn't
It
as
was.
strong though.
Yes, it was.
I found that hard to believe.
I don't
Especially if you
think-
weren't in the mood.
I think this is all
Either
a big
way,
lie.
it seems to be working.
Nah.
You think this is all a lie?
Yeah.
Yes, I think because you're scared shitless of never getting an
Scared-
erection again, and you want us to believe that you're all good.
Yes,
You're fine.
yes. I think
Until
that's it.
I see it for myself, I'm not going to believe you.
I'm going to allow you to live in that doubt then for the rest of your life. You
How
just
about
have to.
this weekend, if you manage to have one, you can show it to us.
Yes,
Like,
Like
take,
send it- yeah.
take photographic
Take a
evidence.
picture.
I'm not going to do that.
Aren't you going to have a few opportunities this weekend?
I might, yeah.
what are we doing this weekend?
Visiting a
Chelsea?
girl I'm romantically involved with. Yeah.
That's
We tell
exciting.
everyone what
That's
you're doing
exciting.
this weekend.
One question at a time here,
That's exciting.
Ryan.
That's not a question.
That wasn't a question. One statement at a time here,
Why don't we
Ryan.
tell everyone what you're doing this weekend?
Everyone knows what I'm doing if you've listened to the podcast enough.
That's
Well,
not
if there's
true.
new
Not
people.
really.
I'm visiting a girl in Pennsylvania.
You're staying with her family, right?
Yes, because that's where she lives.
It's a big deal. Meeting the family.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal, yeah.
You think they'll like you? Your last long-term girlfriend's
She said
parents
if-
despised you.
They shouldn't
They thought you were a
despise me.
weird scumbag.
She said
They did.
she said if she likes me, her parents will like me. So I'll be fine.
You think there's a chance you'll fuck it up and do something really weird?
Like what?
I don't know.
Check out her mom's
clog,
ass?
Yeah, like clog their toilet or something and just like leave it.
What is a classic like comedy dating movie?
Or you'll be jerking off in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jerk
And then, like,
off in the
the
bathroom
dad,
at her
like, the
house. Are you
grandmother
fucking
walks in?
insane? Wait, what?
The grandmother walks in while you're jerking off in the bathroom.
This sounds like American Pie 3 or something.
Why is that such an insane thing
I
to
know.
say?
Because I'm not going to jerk off at her house.
Why not?
Why would I need to do that?
Don't you want to prep for so then you haven't?
You're afraid you're gonna pop real quick, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Exactly.
pop real quick.
I think you're definitely going to. You've been out of commission for a while now.
I'm in slight pain. It'll probably help if anything.
you think it'll help
Oh
with
yeah,
the
I forgot.
stamina?
You put yourself in weird, painful positions to last longer, right? You remember the thing? He
That's
was
what I used
leaning
to do.
back. He
Yeah.
arches his back and sits on his foot or something, so then it hurts. So then you last longer, distracted by the pain.
That's one way to
There you
keep
go.
it going.
It works, right?
It does.
So then it's not pleasurable. It just hurts. What's the point of even doing it at that point?
So he doesn't pop.
I don't like this
So
phrase,
he-
pop.
So he doesn't pop.
You're gonna jerk off in the bathroom so you don't pop too quick.
That's a classic technique.
Bathroom.
That's a classic technique. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
mean,
that's that crazy.
You're gonna jerk off on her father's
Yeah.
favorite tie. On accident.
He keeps his
Ooh,
ties
oh
in
my
the
God.
bathroom?
Yeah, because you haven't gone in a while, so it's like a big release, and then oh shit, they're hanging up to dry on the towel rack.
His ties are hanging up to dry on the towel
It's
rack.
his favorite tie.
What
It's a
household is
it's a
this?
Mickey Mouse tie that he got
Yep.
on his college graduation night. He wore it to the big job interview,
It's
and you
absolutely
fucking
insane.
ruined it.
Yes.
So you're not concerned about your little pecker?
There's no pecker
What about
concern.
the whole situation? That's just one part of it. You haven't become erect in weeks.
I have become erect.
It's a fact you have not. And on top of that, you have like an open oozing wound on your body that also has a lump.
That is true. Can we explain what's going on your
This?
lips right now?
Yeah.
Oh, the lip? The little
No,
scab?
no, no. I was talking about the.
Oh, okay.
I guess that can describe
Ryan wants
multiple
to-
things
we
that's
have
going
two-
on with your
Ryan
body.
is dying to jump right into this.
You have two oozing wounds on your
wounds.
body.
You get the oozing wound above your cock.
Neither are oozing.
The one above your cock is black.
one above my cock-
It has band-aids all over it.
It looks like a bruise.
It is a
if
dirty
anything.
bandage keeping it together.
It's just medical. It's like medical tape over the stitches. That's
But
it.
what if she wants to do a little oral play and then her like head's bouncing up against your weird bandage, dirty bandage?
I have to allow those to fall off at their own leisure, Ryan. So we'll work around
You can't
it.
just rip them off. Let's rip them off on air, can we?
What?
Can we
Wait.
rip off your bandages on air?
What do you rip off? The
The
bandages?
bandage.
Wait, you're supposed? Those are just supposed to fall off? I don't.
Yes. No,
I don't know.
It's the medical tape holding the stitches. You're
So
supposed to. You're
what's
supposed to let them.
fall off?
You're supposed to just allow them to come off and like lose the adhesive.
The tape?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think it's like, don't they have stitches that like disintegrate eventually?
Yeah, that's part of it.
I don't think I don't think the tape is part of that. You're not supposed to just let it
Yeah.
come off.
No, that's what they
and
said.
that's when you know you're good to go.
Yeah.
This is a strange doctor. When the tape is too disgusting and dirty to stay on
The
your
tape
body
that you've
anymore,
seen.
you'll be
That's,
good.
I'm supposed to. I'm almost certain I'm supposed to allow that to fall off
All right, maybe I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
because they said those like the white like cloth. What do you call it?
Gauze?
The gauze. Yeah, the gauze.
Gauze?
The gauze you take off myself when I got home, and then allow the things under to fall off by themselves.
Wait, was there tape holding the gauze there?
It was like a clear, like it was almost like saran wrap type stuff, but it was like it had an adhesive on it that was holding the gauze on there.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
it's not
Could
oozing.
we talk about your other oozing wound?
It's not oozing. It's not really oozing. It's just a scab at this point.
Your face?
What is it though?
Can we explain what's going on?
It's a scab on my lip, Ryan.
Do you have herpes?
Yes, I have herpes, Ryan.
How did you get it?
Why are you going to try and shame me for it?
I'm
not
just
shaming
asking
you.
how you got it.
It's not the sexual kind.
What kind is it?
It's like type 2 or whatever.
Type
whatever
2
the-
Didn't you
herpes?
say you got it from kissing your aunt?
Yeah. You
I
said
probably
you
got
definitely
it
said
from-
your aunt.
You did say
Gave
before
you
you were kissing
herpes.
your aunt when you were younger.
That was like the first thing I found in Yahoo Answers when I was trying to figure
Sometimes your aunt kisses you and it gives you herpes.
what did you What did you search on Yahoo Answers?
Could my
like,
aunt have
where the
given me
fuck did I get
herpes?
herpes? because obviously I had gotten it way before I lost my virginity, so it was not a sexual thing.
Wait, why is that obvious? You've had it forever?
Because I've been dealing with
Just
these
that long?
cold. Because I get periodic cold sores. Usually, a virus comes out when I get stressed out or something,
Are you stressed?
or when the weather changes.
Do you think you got a herpes outbreak because you were stressed about the erection?
Surgery?
The erection?
No, not really.
Not when you,
I wasn't ever stressed about the erection, Ryan.
I don't
I
believe
think you were. I think you were panicking. You
was
stressed
me
pretty
too.
easily.
Yeah, but that was not a concern.
You're playing this off way
Yeah,
too
I know.
cool.
You're
I
trying
think
to
you're
be too
still
cool.
very concerned because you
Whatever-
have not been.
Whatever you want to believe, man.
It's not a matter of believing, it's just the facts.
The fact is, I know my penis is in working order.
I don't.
Where were we? Herpes, right?
Yeah, let's get back to something
Which
less
I-
So
crazy.
I
Which
probably
aunt?
just shared a drink with somebody who had an outbreak. When
Yeah,
I was
which
young.
aunt?
Which
Peggy?
aunt gave you herpes?
It's not an aunt.
You said it
I'm not gonna-
was.
I probably said that
Wait,
as a
was
joke.
it Nanny?
No, when
First
I
place.
first met you, you said, "Yeah, from kissing my aunt when I was younger."
Yeah. You were trying to play it
Because
off
I
like it
had
was cool.
no idea where it was from, and that was the first thing I found on the internet telling me
Was it like a tongue kiss
what,
or like just a peck?
dude. I probably shared a drink with somebody who had it. That's it.
Who do you think it was?
I have no idea. I've had a lot of friends throughout my life, as I'm sure you have somehow.
Just think about it. Think about it. Who could it have been?
I have no idea.
What if one of the bullies from growing up?
Purposely gave it to
Purposely
you.
gave-
I shared a drink with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Did they
don't think
ever
I would
fo-
share drinks
They
with
ever
people who
forced-
picked on me.
You know, you used to go around kissing people, remember? It could have happened all the way
That was
back
a
then.
one-time thing.
That's dangerous behavior, though.
Yeah. Especially
That was a
in
one time.
youth.
You said it happened at least a couple times, didn't it?
No,
That was just once.
it's really like a one-time thing.
That haunted you forever, though.
Sure did.
What was your nickname? in
Weird,
high- in
weird
growing
things
up?
when you're 8 years old.
I feel
know.
like the age is always changing. You said you were like 5 at one point. Now you're 8. That's not even that young.
I think he was always around
7.
8.
Were you
That
8?
was 7.
No, I
7.
want to say you're 8.
Wait,
You were 8. Okay, you're 8. Doesn't matter.
was it third grade? Yeah, it was third grade, so I would have been 7, just before I turned 8.
You could
just-
have been 8.
What like?
No.
What were
Because
you
I remember it was like
thinking?
fall 2003.
What were you thinking when you were chasing-
1993.
Chasing boys around trying to kiss them.
What?
What were you thinking when you were chasing boys around trying to kiss
I
them?
was probably thinking this is a funny troll.
And they
I don't
were
know.
freaked out.
Of course.
You think you've always had like you've just been smarter than everyone else and no one's in on the joke?
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
What did they end up calling you for the rest of your
Why don't
career?
you tell the audience, Ryan?
I'm asking you.
You know what it was.
I don't remember.
GL.
GL.
Wait, I thought it was gay.
That was one kid saying it, but the more popular one was GL.
Is it
GL.
just GL?
Yeah.
Which stood for
Gaylord.
Gaylord?
And they called you that up until when?
Until we parted ways.
No, then you saw them again
So,
at like a show and
it
they
was-
tried to fight you over
It was
it.
the one guy who tried to fight me
At a
over it.
half heart show,
When we
right?
were-
Can you please
when we were
can you
23
please
to
explain this
24.
story because this is very very good.
You love this
You
story, don't
obviously
you?
scarred this person for life.
Yeah. So one of the people you tried to kiss in the jungle gym, you saw at a half heart show, correct?
Yes.
And explain what happened.
He recognized me. We're both probably 22 at this point. I haven't seen him in 15 years. He said, "What's up?" Insert homophobic slur.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, and there he was. I was like, "Oh, hey, man," and just walked away. And then he kind of started like calling me out,
What did he say?
Wasn't
trying to goad me.
he was like really aggressive, wasn't he? Like, people don't forget that, man, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
What did he say?
It's like, "Yo, man, that was some fucked up gay shit you did back then."
How old were you? Or how old was he?
He's probably a year older than me, so I was 22. He's 23.
So this is a 23-year-old man harboring things that happened when you guys were 8 years old, 7
Yes.
and 8.
Yes.
He's that upset about it?
Yes.
I don't know.
What did you say?
You must have really fucked him up then.
I tried walking away, but I was getting pretty heated.
Maybe you gave him the herpes, and that's what's so
I
fucked
was like,
up
"Yeah,
about
man,
it.
good to see you too for the first time in 15 years. Peace."
And that was it.
Have you talked to him since then?
I was like, "You can't forget about that, huh?" And his friend who was much younger than him and wasn't in our class and didn't know us then, like chimed in.
What did he
say?
say?
She's like, "We don't forget about that shit, man."
Was he just repeating him?
Yeah,
He was his
Kind of.
cronies?
yeah. It was weird cronies.
Did that shake you up a little bit?
Yeah, I wanted to fight him, but he was all like weird and jacked. He kind of looked like Carrot Top.
You made him question his sexuality, so he
true.
turned into a weird bro.
Yeah.
weird homophobic.
He started
bro.
lifting weights nonstop.
He did and joined a fraternity.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Hardcore
because of
fraternity. You changed his life. He would have never gotten in shape if it wasn't for you.
I'm glad I can inspire people that way.
It's true.
And they called you those names up until you left high school.
He was
Yeah.
in his mid-20s, early 20s.
That's
A
messed
bunch
up.
of them ended up being in like a bunch of classes I had in 8th grade and 7th grade, so I had to like deal with it all over again.
Was it bad then?
7th grade was a bad year.
That was the worst year?
Contemplated killing myself several times.
Okay.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Just in
Legitimately?
7th grade?
7th grade.
How bad was
So
the
how old would I
bullying?
have been? Probably 12.
Jeez.
You wanted
dark,
to commit
right?
suicide at 12?
Like straight up, like you were really considering it?
Yes.
Did you have any like plans? Like actual plans?
How are you going to do it?
Suffocate in a plastic bag?
Oh my God.
Oh wow, you must really
Jesus
hate
Christ.
yourself,
I
man.
know, that's dark. Oh my God.
These kids were
Like,
making
what
my
kind
life.
of a bag?
'Cause
Like a grocery
the,
bag?
That was the height of me being bullied.
What happened? What would they do?
So the names were every day.
Like
Same
what?
thing, GL?
Yeah. I got flagged at one point.
What do you mean
What's
flag?
flag?
What's flag?
It's when they just come up to you and pull your pants down in front of the whole class.
I think that's,
Pantsed?
that's
Yeah.
called being pantsed.
In where I was from.
Where did your underwear come off too?
No.
They pantsed
that's
you?
not that
Did
bad.
you?
I
Did
don't
you?
know. There was just something about it that was really embarrassing to me.
But
Well,
was
that
your
one's still
dick poking
embarrassing.
through the little like boxer short hole
No.
a little bit? Just like
No.
the tip of it?
No.
No.
Just me standing in my underwear there. That was
That's embarrassing.
at that age it was pretty
agree.
embarrassing, I guess.
What did you do about it?
And now I'll show you my cock and
Yeah.
my face,
You're
obviously.
cool now.
Yeah. You're confident with
Yeah.
your body. You're
It's
comfortable.
true. I bet they don't do that. They're too insecure still.
Probably.
It's true.
What did you do when they pantsed you? You just pulled them up and sat back down?
I punched one of them in the face.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow,
Right,
I didn't
like
know
during
you
the
had-
pantsing thing.
No, as soon as it happened, I pulled him back up and just punched one of them in the face.
What
Did it turn
what
into
did
a
they
brawl?
say?
No, I think like I was such like a soft little nerd that it barely affected him.
What else? What else?
And I
would
actually
happen?
punched the wrong person. I punched a person I thought did it, but it was actually someone else.
Class
Wow.
But either way, I was the one that got in trouble and had to stand in front of the class. And
pants. Then the teacher made you take off your pants.
yeah.
Classic
I was
punishment.
I was in like timeout for the rest of that period,
Time out in 7th grade?
or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I don't know. I don't think they punish you like that in 7th grade.
I don't know.
You
I
just
had
get
to-
detentions or
I just had to
expelled or some
sit
shit.
next to the chalkboard and do nothing for the rest of the class. It was a bad year.
What else did
it
they
was
do
just,
to you?
yeah, it was just the names. Just the names, the pantsing.
Names a constant. I don't know. I just felt like constantly harassed about it.
Did
That's
they-
pretty sad, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You wanted to suffocate yourself in a plastic bag.
You must have really resented yourself.
It's
That's
not that I hated
intense.
myself. I just hated the situation I was in. Couldn't escape it.
What did your mother think?
She didn't know about any of it.
You didn't tell her about the bullying?
No,
What about when she saw plastic bags everywhere?
Yeah.
I don't think I was collecting plastic bags.
Well, she's going to know when she listens to this episode, the teasing and the bullying.
Why was it the plastic bag?
I don't know.
You don't think there would have been a more efficient way to go out?
There were probably some laying
I was
around.
probably thinking about hanging myself too.
Wow.
God.
That's
Either
dark.
way.
I don't know. You freaks want to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know
yeah.
it was going to get this dark.
I know. I never knew this about you. I really thought I knew everything about you, but I like it. It's good.
Did you ever have a day where you're like, this is the day, the plastic bag's going
No.
on?
No,
Thought of it.
there was no like serious actual attempt.
Is this when the hat full of lizards started?
Probably around this time.
They became your friends?
Maybe that's what it was.
Your way out? They saved your life.
Did we ever talk about? I don't think we ever talked about the lizards on the podcast.
Did we not?
No,
It's
no.
confusing because this is where we eat lunch too. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
People are gonna think we're talking about real lizards, though.
Can we explain?
Well, we're not.
Your,
We're not.
your
Lizards?
lizard friends.
I used to collect rubber lizards
and where would they live?
just in a pile on my dresser, but sometimes they were in my Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, you'd carry them around. They were
Remember
good
when
luck.
because those hats were trendy to wear back in the
Just clarify. So you had
mid to late 90s.
Did you fill? This is a Cat in the Hat, one of the red and white striped ones.
Yes.
like an exaggerated top hat.
Yeah.
that you would fill to the brim.
It's not filled to the brim.
How many were in there at a time usually?
I mean, there were small rubber lizards. I only had
How
like,
small? I
at
thought
any
they were
given
like
time?
big, like realistic
Oh
lizards.
fuck no!
So they're like little, like 1-2 inch long lizards.
Yeah, they're more like newts.
So it's not even a lizard.
I don't know. They were lizards. I mean, what do you call like a
But like
one of those little like chameleon?
they were
type
all
things?
like small ones
Yeah, I only had like at any given time I only had 20 of them
in the hat.
in the hat.
How many did you have on your dresser in the pile?
Well, that was the pile. I'm saying that like if
So
I
that's
was
the extent of them. 20.
Sometimes
what sparked your interest in these
sometimes
little
I'd
lizards?
want to bring them out. I don't
Were
know.
they
I
like a
have no
specific
idea.
brand that you would always buy?
I don't know. I had a weird hoarding, like collecting mindset when I was younger.
Why would you carry them in the Cat in the Hat around?
It was convenient. I
It
don't know.
seems like you could carry them in something else.
Did you wear it on your head with the lizards in it?
No,
Did
no.
you?
If I ever wore the hat, which was rare, the lizards were not in the hat.
I need to see you in this hat. Do you still have the hat?
There's no way I still have the hat.
Oh,
When would
those
you
fucking
ever
hats.
wear the hat?
There might be some old fucking Polaroids of me or whatever.
Oh my god, I need to see that. I would pay an infinite amount of money to see you in that hat.
Really?
Yes.
I'll see if my mom has pictures of me.
God, I would love that.
That would be
Those
pretty
could have
good.
come back. I feel like those could come back in hardcore. You get the bucket hats, then you get those.
They could, yeah.
Hat and hat hats.
Yeah.
Although I don't remember those ever actually being a thing.
You get them at like
people-
a carnival or something.
Yeah, like
and
that
you
was-
never really wore them. I don't know. You did.
And you carried around your lizards in your hat until you were 14?
At least, I think. You were definitely said you were high school.
12 to 14, probably.
It's a little old for that.
Where would you bring them? Just anywhere you went? Was it like a safety
'Cause-
blanket?
Well, my mom would go run errands. I'd be bored, so I could play with the lizards.
What would
You
you do?
play with
Yeah,
lizards
what
at
would-
14?
What would you do with them?
13, maybe.
You should be having sex and shit at 14.
Is that what you were doing?
Yes.
Straight up, he was.
I was.
I almost had sex at 14.
Almost. What happened?
Is the thing from last time with
Alina.
the cousin?
Yeah, the
Cousin that touched your cock in the car?
That sounds weird.
What?
No, it's the friend's cousin. Jesus Christ.
So
man.
it's your cousin that gave you a hand job
In the car
in
next to
front
their
of
dad.
Danny?
And over the
Well,
pant.
there were like 5 guys driving the car at the same time
over the pant, not to completion hand job.
by your cousin.
And you almost had sex with her?
No, not cousin.
How did
Jesus.
you almost have sex with
Friend's
her?
cousin, because I think she wanted to do it.
How do you know?
I don't know. She seemed to be hinting at it once we were alone in my friend's attic.
Like what she
You
said?
got shook though. You didn't want to do it.
I was
you,
shook.
You were probably mad shook.
Dad was downstairs, and she had a
So?
boyfriend back home in Florida.
Fuck that.
So?
That's sick.
That's hot.
I don't want to get beat up by an angry dad, man. Not at 14.
He's not going to get beat up. He'll get he would get arrested if
You got to risk
try to
that
beat you
shit.
up.
I didn't want to risk it, man.
Why not?
I don't know. My perception of it was I'm going to get my ass kicked.
How would he? Why was it even a guarantee that he would find out? And either way, like even if he found out after the fact, he's going what down to Florida? You said It's a perfect situation.
Your life could have been a whole lot different
I know.
if you had fucked that day.
Did you have the
Maybe,
lizards
man.
with you then?
Maybe. I
You
did
could
not
have
have the
fucked,
lizards
but
with me.
instead you decided to play with fucking lizards.
How would you play with
no,
them?
those two have no correlation, or
Same age.
yeah, but it has nothing to do with.
How did you play with the lizards? What would you do?
Yeah.
I'd give them all names.
What were some of the names? Don't say you don't know. You got to remember some
I
of
think I
them.
named them after hockey players at the time. Or
Like
something.
who? Wayne Gretzky?
Like that, yeah.
Who else?
Jaromir Jagr.
Yarmir Yager lizard.
No, I'm trying, actually, no. I think it was like these weird random names I came up with.
Like what?
Like, this isn't one of them. This is like an idea of like what it would be like. It was like
If you were going to name them now,
Michael Goodman.
Michael Goodman. So they were just regular like white guy names. This is Michael Goodman. Meet your
Yes.
friend Ben Stein.
Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty good.
yeah,
What kind of? And that's well, you would name them so they were like personified.
yeah.
And then what? Would you have like? Would you do like tea with them?
I don't know, games or something.
Like what? Like you would play hockey with
Yeah,
them?
how do you play with fucking lizards?
I'm struggling to remember the specificities of it.
The what?
Specificities of it.
What?
The details.
Okay.
So we got Michael Goodman. Is he the leader of the group?
I think there was like a leader or something. I don't
So
know.
Michael Goodman was the leader. In the hat.
I think I need to be put under one of those like weird psychological like trances
Suck
or
the
whatever.
information out of
Yeah,
you.
to like really remember the details.
Michael
This is-
Goodman.
this is a
What kind
long
of
time
things
ago.
would you do? What situations would you put
This
them
is
in?
like 17 years ago. I can't remember.
Like, how do you play with lizards?
They're not even real.
Do you like pretend to like fight?
I don't know. I would like flip them, do like a heads or tails type thing, and keep track of statistics.
What statistics? You would just measure how often they would land on one side or the other?
You jogged my memory on something. I think I took measurements on them too.
Oh my god! You did the most abnormal things with
No,
these
what the
lizards.
fuck?
You would flip them and then see.
Like this one had the biggest width. This one had the longest length.
What was wrong with you?
Why would you do that?
It's a weird
It'd be
kid.
so much more normal to just be like, oh, it's Michael Goodman. Here, it's Carlos. How are you guys doing today? Like, that would be so much more normal than measuring them and taking statistics on how they land.
Body statistics. I think I took those.
Stats.
Man, that's some scary shit, man. Holy shit.
That is disturbing.
Nobody in the world knew about this, by the way. I would just do this on my own.
And would you keep track of all these stats?
Yeah,
So, like, how big was Michael Goodman?
that's the thing. Michael
Was he
Goodman
the
wasn't.
leader because he was like good
That wasn't
size,
actually
but-
one of the names. I'm paraphrasing,
All right.
giving an example of what a name might be like.
Can you try to think of a one name? You gotta remember at least. There had to have been like your
Michael Goodman.
favorite
Honestly,
one.
don't remember.
Where did you keep the statistics?
On a loose leaf sheet of paper
But like where?
on my desk or something.
But like how? I feel like you do that once and then you have the stats. Would you go back and see if they like grew or something?
that was like one of the games I would play, like longest length, Michael Goodman.
Longest length.
It was like an awards ceremony.
The award for longest fake lizard goes to Michael Goodman. What an honor.
I did some ridiculous shit, man.
Oh my
I
god.
guess so.
You were in high school while you're doing this too.
At 12?
You said
You
you
were
were 14.
14.
You mentioned 14
I
multiple
still had
times.
them, but I don't think I was doing as much weird things with them.
What were you doing
They kind
at
of
that
just like
point?
sat there on a desk.
Here and there, he would go and just measure Michael Goodman, make sure he didn't grow it out.
I know.
Right? Hey, how are you doing?
It was a one-time thing.
Doesn't sound like it. That's what stood out. It sounds like you did that kind of often. What else would you do? I gotta know.
I don't remember.
You could tell us a story, and then we still end up finding out more and more sick
Later on?
details about it. This is great. Didn't you say they won your dad like $50,000 once? They were
Yeah,
lucky.
because I considered them lucky.
They were your lucky, lizards.
It was $10,000 in mall gift certificates.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Lizards of luck.
Did they ever bring you luck?
Lucky lizards.
No.
I think so.
How so?
I don't know.
You just said you wanted to suffocate yourself in a plastic bag.
But I
How
think
did that
those are
bring
what
you
brought
luck?
him out of that dark place, right? You found the lizards, and you're like, "This is my purpose."
You found true friendship in lizards.
It was just me being quote unquote creative
Yeah.
with
very creative.
strange things that I had.
When did you see like the first lizard, and you're like, "That's me. That's who I'm gonna be."
A guy who collects rubber lizards.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Did you get one at like a dentist office? I feel like that's what they would give you when you leave.
I think we were just at like a toy store or a hobby store, and they had all these like different rubber lizards, and I was like, shit,
I'm
this is
really
kind
into
of cool.
this. Yeah,
Yeah, so I started buying one, and then a collection grew.
I'm into it. Were they all different?
I think one of them was definitely named Harry.
Harry
Something.
Truman.
Yes! I named one of them Harry Truman.
Harry Truman.
Yes! Holy shit! Yeah, you're right.
Did he look like Harry Truman?
No. But I named one of the lizards Harry Truman.
Why?
Yes, I
Michael
definitely
Goodman.
remember that, actually.
Michael Goodman.
Wow.
You miss Harry Truman?
I don't know if Michael Goodman was one of the names for sure. Harry Truman was absolutely one of the lizards' names.
That's sick. I like that.
You miss
Harry.
your lizards?
What?
You miss your lizards?
No,
Did
not,
you like throw them away one day, or you just like they kind of got lost?
They got lost.
I bet Bonnie still has the lizards.
I don't know, man.
So quickly, you traded lizards for blow up dolls.
Yeah.
What was like your next thing after that? Did you not
The
have
next
a thing?
thing after the lizards?
Yeah.
Blow up dolls.
No, that was like what 18. You said in the blow up doll
Hockey cards.
hockey cards. That's
Blow
more
up doll wasn't
normal,
a
I guess.
collection. It was it was one thing. You guys, you got to bring this up every episode now.
What? I think that's like you though. Like the blow up doll
It's
is
me?
like your
We're
thing.
just talking
It's
about
not a
things that
thing.
you played with.
It lasted for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, because you
So
popped it with your
no, I collected
sharp
hockey
cock.
cards probably after that.
Well, that's not as exciting. You ever put a baseball card in your bike and then it sounds like a motorcycle?
No.
I think it's supposed to sound more like a motorcycle than that.
It's supposed to make the cool clicking noise.
Kind of, I guess.
No, I didn't do that.
What did you do with the cards? Did you measure them?
I didn't measure a card. They're all the same size, except for the special die cut inserts, of course.
Yeah.
No, I just
Make them fight?
I just separated them
Make
by.
them fight.
I put them in binders, separated by team, and hand drew the team logos with colored pencils.
Pretty tight.
I still have them. I gotta
You're so
fucking.
creative, Pep.
I gotta
What happened
sell
to
this
you?
shit.
Yeah, my dad actually came home. Actually, it might have been over the weekend. I was at my parents' house, and he came home with these drawings I used to do, and it must have been around like 1998 because it was the Godzilla movie that came out. I like drew Godzilla, and then I drew like the logo,
Sick.
and I also drew the Lowell Lock Monsters, their logo, which was the Lowell like single A hockey team.
Yeah, the progression of the logo it's funny.
It's great.
It's funny because like some of the like the first I did like the first like 26 teams or whatever, and some of them are so horrible and like lopsided.
Like
and
your progression as an artist.
Yeah, like most of them are terrible and lopsided and everything. And then like there were some expansion teams that the NHL added, like the Nashville Predators, Columbus Blue Jackets around that time. I did their logos, and those were so much better.
That's when you hit your stride.
That's when I hit my stride, hand drawing hockey team logos.
Yeah,
and it's funny because they're so much better than the other ones.
Pretty sick. Going back to the bullies though, did you ever like fantasize about killing them in your head or anything like that?
I'm sure I did.
Getting revenge,
like sniping them.
I'm sure everybody did. Yeah.
Who's everybody?
Everybody who has been bullied in their life.
What would you think about?
I don't know if I actually like fantasize about killing them. That seemed like a little too.
You put the bag over
extreme.
their head instead of yours.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't even think about it in like that, in those terms.
You ever have a hot teacher?
Yeah, haven't we all had hot teachers?
Yeah. I feel like I didn't really until I got to high school though.
High school English teacher was pretty cute.
Yeah.
What was her name? Miss what?
I don't remember any of my teachers' names.
I was trying to find one of my high school teachers recently. I was thinking about hitting her up.
Elementary and middle school elementary is easy to remember because you only had the one teacher.
True.
First grade was Rudick, then I think Richter, or Zeman? Maybe Zeman, then Richter.
They sound like alien names.
Then McGreen, then Moore.
I don't think I remember any of my high school teachers.
What about Miss Prebinson?
I don't remember any of my high school
I know,
teacher names.
high school, never mind.
I know middle
Yeah.
school because they were all like weird characters.
Yeah, and we had them for so long; they were always
high
there.
School, I have no idea. I can't think of any of them.
Yeah, I remember a handful of my
You
high
had
school
9
teachers.
periods, so you would see them for like 45 minutes a day, and that was it.
Not just that, you just had they were always changing. Sometimes like every half year, you get a new teacher.
Yeah.
So then, was high school better for you in general?
Yeah, a little bit.
No more bullying.
Except for that one kid who would remember take my sandwiches and
Yeah,
then
he took your lunch,
demand
right?
$1 or $2 for me to get
So
it
he
back.
would take your food and your money?
Explain to me what he
Well,
did.
you take the food and then hold it ransom for $1 or $2.
Oh shit!
I'd
I
have
didn't
to-
know he did that.
I'd have to buy it back essentially.
Damn, that's like some
Damn, that's
mafia
sick.
shit.
I like that guy.
I know, that's quite the hustle.
Yeah, I mean, he
Respect.
probably only did it 3 to 5 times, but it felt kind of shitty, and he was just bigger.
Why
than
did
me.
he stop doing it?
What?
Why did he stop doing it?
Because you
I don't
cried
know.
one day.
No, I don't know.
He just gave up. He got bored.
Maybe
Would you, without
developed a
hesitation,
conscience?
just give
I don't
him the
know.
money?
What?
Would you, without hesitation, just give him the money?
I'd wait a second, and he would still like sit there, like looking at me with the sandwich. I'd wait like a full minute, 2 minutes would pass by, and I go, "Well, it seems like I'm not getting my sandwich unless I buy it back. So I guess I'm just doing that."
Oh my god,
So you would actually buy back the
that's
sandwich.
fucked up, man.
Yeah, it happened a few times.
That
It
ain't
sucks.
right.
Damn, you got walked all over.
I think he was just getting money to buy
You
cigarettes.
rollerbladed
Too.
all over your cock, man.
I know. Classic.
I wouldn't put up with that shit now, though.
Are you
You
sure?
wouldn't?
What if we started doing that?
I'll beat the shit out of you two.
Would
in a
you?
second. Yes.
Both of us?
You're
at
a
the
little
same
fucking
time?
hurt.
Probably,
man.
not at the same time. Especially not now. My condition.
You're weak spot. You attack me, I just hit you right there, and you'll be
Yeah,
on the
and when I'm
ground in
fully
2
recovered,
seconds.
I'm gonna slash your brakes.
Oh my god!
Slash his
I'm
brakes?
gonna
I
cut
don't
his-
think that's something that
Sorry,
people do.
I combine slash tires with cut brake lines. I'm gonna cut your brake lines. is
That's
what
going
I'm
to be
gonna
you
do.
beating the shit out of him?
It's gonna be him dying.
That's not true.
Wait, why am I dying?
He's going to kill you for taking his lunch.
Take your lunch? Now I would have died? What?
Wait, so you're gonna take my lunch?
That's what I said.
No, you're not, Ryan. I will come after you.
See? You're
Look
too
at
violent.
you are. You always take things too far.
You always take things too far. You guys instigate everything, but
So we can take your lunch,
If I
and you're
respond
going to
at all-
kill Ryan in like
I'm not literally gonna
a
kill him.
hitman style
I'm gonna take the lunch back
accident.
and use excessive force if it's not given back.
Force.
Excessive force. You're going to beat him with a nightstick.
Try me.
Take his lunch. You're shaking. Are you just nervous?
No,
What if I smashed your mug?
I'd be pretty annoyed.
Would you? What would you
I'll
say?
smash your laptop.
Then we can't do this podcast.
Wow, what a world.
Do you think that's fair? You smash
I
a
know.
mug,
A
smash
mug
a
that you got
laptop?
for what? Free?
No, it's not fair, but I want
But
to make your
what?
life a little more miserable than you just made mine.
You would be miserable if I broke this mug?
No, but that would be a little fucked up because then I have to clean up glass and I don't have a mug anymore.
You don't need a mug. You just drink water out of it.
It's porcelain
Who
anyways.
cares?
Yeah, you don't need a
You don't
mug.
drink water out of mugs.
Well, I don't drink coffee, Ryan.
So why do you have a mug?
Don't
It was sent
use
to me
the
for
mug.
free. It was sent to me for free.
Don't use
it was a nice
it.
gift.
Drink tea.
Throw it away.
I'm not going to bring tea to work and
Give
start
it to
brewing.
someone
Bring
who-
it home and drink.
Where am I
tea.
going to brew tea here?
There's
a
tea
Keurig.
bags right there. All you
There's
gotta
a
do
Keurig
is
and a
microwave
coffee
some
thing.
water and put some
Yeah.
tea in it.
I'm not going to. That sounds like a whole endeavor.
It's an
endeavor.
endeavor.
Oh my God.
We have a coffee machine
bringing
and a
in
Keurig
almond milk,
machine.
brewing tea.
You don't need milk for
Almond
tea.
milk for tea?
How do you?
You can. That's like southern, like sweet tea, but you don't need it.
You just drop the bag in
Yeah.
the water.
And maybe a little sugar if you're feeling it.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
I can't have tea without some sugar
It's
or milk.
weird that you exclusively drink water out of your mug.
What's it to you?
That's
How does it
fucked
affect
up.
your life?
It's
Nothing,
disturbing.
It's just weird.
It affects
Why is
my
it
life.
weird?
It disturbs me.
Then I think you need to get into the habit of minding your own business a little more.
I do mind my own business, but it
But when you
invades
see
my
someone drink
space.
water out of a porcelain mug,
I
it
get
disturbs you
very
to the
nervous.
bone.
Yes.
Kind of.
I think
start
that's a
sweating
personal.
and I
Sounds
get
like a
nervous.
personal problem.
It's not. You're a threat.
Sounds like you have some unresolved issues.
I feel
That you need to
threatened
work out.
when you're drinking water out of that mug.
Threatened.
Yes,
I feel unsafe at work.
it's true.
I create an unsafe space with my water consumption from
Very
a mug.
much so. Yes.
All right then.
Throw it away now.
Maybe
Thank you.
we'll discuss this later.
Good talk.
That was a good talk. We learned a lot about Schultz.
That's a good talk. We're an
Yeah.
hour and a half into the podcast
Schultz,
now
we
already.
wish you the best of luck on your weekend journey.
I genuinely
Hope
do
Your herpes goes away, and I hope your cock functions,
properly for the
I
first
hope-
time in a few weeks.
and I hope it goes well.
So for the more serious side of this discussion this week, we wanted to talk about hardcore punk labels that have changed over the years, mostly like long-standing ones who started out pretty much putting out straightforward hardcore or punk or something in that realm, and then kind of strayed from the path a little bit as their tastes change or whatever the case may be. We thought that'd be a cool topic to roll with.
Hey.
I figured following up from last week, we wanted to mention this. Run for Cover, I think, is a cool example of that.
Yeah.
Our boys who we just hung out with last week, they pretty much started off as, like, most people now know them as, like, I don't know.
What
I
kind
guess
of music
kind of,
is that?
Yeah, like emo, indie.
Miscellaneous, emo, indie,
They have a couple of pop punk bands.
new grunge, alt, pop punk.
They kind of, I guess just, it's still punk, you know. I guess they're in more punk direction than they were when they started, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to sum
They
it up.
had These Days, the California hardcore band Jeff had mentioned, Sinking
Yeah.
Ships, This Is Hell,
Yeah.
Crime and Stereo.
Like, it's fun. I didn't really know that until kind of recently. I checked back, like, their discography, and, like, all of their early releases were all, like, hardcore records, so.
Yeah, it's a small few,
Cool.
but
I mean, they still, like, it's funny. I feel like Run for Cover's bands fit in well with hardcore bands. A lot of hardcore kids like those bands, and they play together and stuff, so it works out. It's not like a drastic change, but it is a change, no less.
Well, so we got Schultz.
well, there's of course Victory.
Victory, yeah.
It's a pretty huge one.
Yeah, they were,
Put out a lot of good hardcore records at one point.
Snapcase,
Yeah.
Earth Crisis.
I feel like they were almost like the 90s hardcore label.
Yeah,
They helped, like, establish, like, metallic hardcore almost, too,
Yeah.
at least in, like, its more modern form. Like,
Integrity.
yeah. So much of those bands. I think Damnation AD put out at least some records with Victory, I think.
Yeah,
Strife.
Damnation. I have a old Damnation 87 inch. Thing.
Yeah.
Victory
But
did. I know they
if-
did like their like newer record.
Yeah,
they did like
probably.
07 or something.
But either way, like, if you pick up, like, an old, like, Victory, like, sampler, it's like all of the classic, like, 90s hardcore bands. Like, I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't even think of it now them as, like, a hardcore label
No.
at this point.
With the exception of Terror. I think
Yeah.
Terror's their only hardcore band. they
Yeah, and I
have
feel
now.
like Terror's almost only teamed up with them because, like, Terror's a big band now, so, like, they support each other well. But they have metal bands and then more of, like, the modern metalcore stuff that's, like,
Yeah.
really big and
lots of
popular.
weird random stuff you never heard in your
Yeah.
life.
That's the thing. Anytime Victory has a new signing, it's this crazy
Yeah.
thing I've never heard of in my life, but I can't tell.
It's like
I mean,
theatrically
I'm obviously not
electronic heavy
following that
bands.
shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it's huge and they're making a shit
I
ton
feel
of
like
money
it's
off
not.
of it.
I feel like at least the few times I've seen, I think they take a band that, like, they just think they can make big and just work with it. And I don't know, maybe it works. Maybe every time they touch something, it turns into gold or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think when Victor strayed away from hardcore, like early mid 2000s, it worked out pretty nicely for
Yeah.
them. And they have like Taking Back Sunday and like,
Yeah.
Thursday,
stuff
Hawthorne Heights.
like
Hawthorne
that.
Heights,
Yeah.
Silverstein, Atreyu.
Yeah. They had, like, the biggest of those bands. I mean, some of those bands got really big. They were on, like, the radio
Yeah.
and stuff, so worked out. Granted, everyone knows that Victory has a pretty weird reputation. There's lots of beefs with bands and stuff, so
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows what's really going on there? But they also started, like, the past couple of years, they, like, started putting out, or, like, signing, like, new metal bands. Remember? There's, like, Il Nino, and
Yeah.
there's some other band, too. They started working with those bands, too, so strange. Definitely, I feel like they're probably one of the most drastic changes, I guess,
Yeah.
on this list.
Yeah.
Probably.
Equal Vision
Equal Vision.
on a similar tilt.
Yeah.
Because they had 108. Did they have, what Youth Crew stuff did they have?
Floor Punch, right?
Floor Punch,
Floor
yeah.
Punch stuff.
Oh, Shelter, right?
Yeah, they put
That's
out a
what I'm
lot,
thinking of.
lot of hardcore
Well,
stuff.
who was it that started Equal Vision?
It was someone. I think it was someone from Youth of Today.
Yeah, I think it was someone from Youth of Today. That's what always comes to mind.
Yeah.
I think he might have sold the label
He did
at some
sell
point.
out.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But like they started off as kind of doing that kind of stuff, and then they kind of did some like 90s, early 2000s hardcore bands too, like cool stuff. Like they worked with HopeCon, American Nightmare.
Yep.
That's who. I think they put out 2 records with Equal Vision, at least.
Yeah, that's true, too.
They put out 2 stuff.
Yeah.
They had
Converge.
Modern Life is War.
Yeah, Modern Life is War, Converge.
Well,
Like
Modern Life is War was
10-Yard Fight.
late 2000s, I think, by that point.
well, either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they were kind of like the spot when like a hardcore band kind of got like big. They kind of like went to Equal Vision, it seems, for a while there. But then yeah, they kind of went the Victory route a little bit. I don't really follow them that much because it's not really
They definitely didn't sign as many
my
bands
radar.
or try as many different things, though.
Yeah, like it seems like they dipped their toes into some of that stuff, and
I
they
mean, Equal Vision is definitely not a hardcore label anymore.
no for sure.
I think they have Bane still.
Do they?
Yeah.
No.
That might be it as in terms of hardcore bands.
True. And I guess maybe Fear Before the Much Flames, I feel like they're kind of a gray area.
I don't even think they're a band.
They also haven't been active, though.
In like years.
5 years.
Ryan, you said you wanted to talk about Touch and Go?
Yeah, Touch and Go as well. They started out putting out all all the Midwest hardcore in the 80s, like Negative Approach and The Fix and stuff like that. And then like the late 80s and stuff and early 90s, they put out stuff like Slint, and like now they do some like reissue stuff, but like now a lot of the stuff that they put out here and there, like I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Just random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting to see a label like that that's been around since kind of like DIY labels first started, still going.
Yeah.
Same thing with Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
Even though Discord's way more active.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Just the Discord change, it doesn't seem like totally insane or anything.
Probably because you can see how like Ian's taste changed with the label, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I feel like he was playing in those bands as like the label's tastes were changing as
Follow
well.
that progression, essentially.
Yeah. Which is cool. I don't know. Discord is pretty sick because from what I understand, like, isn't he still involved like fully?
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't know. It's pretty cool that he's
He
just
still put out like local bands.
yeah, and he still plays in bands and stuff too. Like he
Yeah.
does the evens and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just like it's pretty cool how like true he has stayed to what he likes and his interests in music in general. I guess even though his tastes have changed.
Yeah.
But that's understandable.
Yeah. I haven't really kept up with the newer Discord
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like Schultz. I feel like you have.
Discord stuff, sort of. They put out the Red Hair album, which was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What else?
I think they did Office of Future Plans.
Sounds about right.
I think they did, and that album was really solid too.
True that. Schultz, you said you wanted to mention Jade Tree, right?
Yeah, because they had hardcore bands early on. Four Walls Falling.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they did the Turning Point discography.
I think they did From Ashes Rise stuff too.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I believe
cool.
so too. But I think they over time became way more known for their sort of tastemaker status as like 90s emo forebears, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed to work out for them though.
Yeah, similar to like Revelation. We were going to talk about them too, obviously.
No, speaking of Jade Tree and hardcore, though, they also put out, I think, a Damnation AD record as well, which is
There you go.
pretty weird. When I think of Jade Tree, I do think of like 90s emo.
Yeah.
and like, yeah, it's weird that a heavy metallic hardcore band from the 90s they worked with too.
Sensitive melodic indie rock, but
Yeah, but it's cool.
Well, the dude who does J-Tree did High Impact, right?
yeah.
So like he's obviously very firmly rooted in hardcore.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's the thing with all of these, for the most part. You know, they're all. That's kind of the premise of this is that they're all rooted in hardcore. You know, so.
And then, like, of all these, it's like Rev is sort of the only one you could really consider like is a hardcore label.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I don't know, like.
Still a hardcore
Still?
label.
Yeah, like I don't think you're going to consider Victory a hardcore label at this point,
Yeah.
or like you said, Equal Vision. But
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like as much as like I guess you could not really hardcore. I do think Run for Cover is still tightly, at least the community. You know, like I said, I think a lot of kids, same kids go to hardcore shows.
yeah, but I
like a
don't.
lot of Run for Cover shit.
I think RFC's its own world, but there's like some crossover.
There's a lot
But when it comes
there's a
down
lot
to the
of crossover.
definition
Yeah,
of
like
hardcore
actual,
record
like,
label,
fast,
no one in
yelly
the world
music.
is no one in the world
That's
is
true.
like Death Wish hardcore label.
I guess it's just because
RFC,
like
not
we're not
quite.
only are we friends with those guys, but we're like from the same city. You,
Yeah,
Brian, you and I play in bands with them, so like I guess it's hard to separate those worlds because we're around it so much. But from an outside perspective, that's pretty true.
Yeah, because Rev did outside the box stuff, obviously too, dabbling in like post hardcore and different stuff, especially during the 2000s.
But they've come back to hardcore.
They've come back
almost strictly
real hard.
more recently.
Yeah, very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like they were pretty inactive from like what 06 up until the Rival Mob.
put out like the Capital and Gracer albums and maybe Down to Nothing discography.
Yeah. And I think in between they did some like discography press. They did Mouthpiece and Judge and stuff like that.
Bold too, right?
Yeah, they did Bold.
Mm-hmm.
But
as far as like new releases go,
it was few far between. But now
and they picked up Rival Mob and everything.
they put out that Title Fight 7-inch.
Yeah.
Is that all they
Title
did
Fight.
with the Title Fight?
Yeah, just the EP.
7-inch.
Yeah.
But still, now they got Soul Search, Give, Forced Order, Violent Reaction,
Yeah.
probably more.
Fair assortment of stuff. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No, and I don't think you're going to see these other labels do that anytime soon.
Yeah, because Rev's an interesting story because they have their early catalogs all like the absolute classic late 80s hardcore stuff. So like
Yeah, they do have the heavier set than anybody else probably.
yeah, so like I feel like with that, you know, you're good. You're
Forever,
good
no
forever.
matter
You know,
what.
they tried some other stuff and like some of that like mid period like Rev stuff I like too. A lot of it I don't really care for, but it obviously didn't like stick like that stuff did. You know what I mean?
But that stuff is such like they're such actual classics that
Yeah.
they're good. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You can't
it's not
really
like-
taint your reputation that much.
Yeah, it's like they have all those records so they can try a bunch of weird shit and then come back and pick up all the relevant good bands because they have those classic records. Whereas, I mean, if Victory tried coming back doing their thing, I don't think too many bands would
bite.
on
I think
board
the
with
only way
that.
they could do it is just with money, you know, like offer a band who doesn't deserve $100,000, $100,000 or something like that. And like we have seen that kind of happen with some labels. I guess we wanted to tie in Bridge 9 to all of this because I feel like
Because obviously
at
that's
this
what
point,
this all stems from.
obviously we've already gone through 20 years as a label, and we started off definitely as strictly a hardcore label, and I think we still are for the most part. You know, I think
I think
our
Bridge Nine's
catalog at this point is like, I don't know,
90% hardcore.
90% hardcore. Our lineup now is still like a high percentage hardcore bands, and we still mostly put out hardcore bands, and the stuff we've like dipped our toes into has definitely been like pretty close to that, you know.
it's all at least rooted in hardcore
like
punk, you know.
Yeah, there's a bunch of crossover for this stuff. I feel like you'd have to be a real like weirdo to say like I only listen to like hardcore like in its purest form, you know. Like everybody listens to different stuff, and like a lot of times you find out about the other stuff because it's related, you know. It's a member of a band or they're touring with that band or something, you know. And and it's cool that we can be one of those labels who's branched out a little bit and but also at the same time still be able to put out hardcore. I do think Bridge 9 is kind of unique in where like we are still mostly a hardcore label, but we also
aren't afraid to try.
I'm afraid to try other things. And
I remember Chris always said after he put out 100 solid hardcore records. He just wanted to put out whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah, which is cool.
So he's definitely staying true to that, but also staying true to what the label is rooted in.
Yeah, founded on. Definitely. Bridge 9 in itself, I feel like, had not even just hardcore, but we had a specific sound for a while, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we were like...
Early B9 stuff, there's a B9 sound, for sure.
Yeah, early B9 stuff. And then, but even, like, when we really hit our stride with, like, the late 90s, early 2000s stuff, like, Bridge 9, like, kind of owned early 2000s hardcore with just the classics, the classic Bridge 9 stuff. And that kind of transformed into mid-2000s stuff. But then after that, we just decided to start doing our own things. Chris decided to start doing his own stuff, which is cool. And I guess the whole point of all this is that, like, people's tastes change and, like, labels reflect that, especially within, like, hardcore and punk, Yeah. Because it's DIY for the most part, or it's a very small operation, and all this stuff is founded on people wanting to work with stuff they enjoy. I mean, Ryan, you started your own label recently, and it seems like they pretty accurately reflect your taste for the most part. So like,
I mean, that's how it works.
That's
how a label should be. Put out whatever the fuck you like.
Yeah, and like if you're like a normal person who like seeks new things, like your tastes change over time.
Yeah.
5 years from when you started that label, you want to try something else. 10 years later, you're definitely going to be doing something else. So it's cool. It's cool that some of this stuff, and I think it's obvious, like the labels who have changed with their taste and the ones who have tried to just kind of like cash in and like follow trends. So
it seems like most labels that are established and legitimate, when they change with their taste, they still continue to do well and are respected.
Yeah, definitely. Like it is sometimes pretty easy to see when something is like contrived and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we wanted to talk about with this. Thanks for listening so far. Last week was awesome. It was our first 1,000+ listened to podcast, so that was really cool. Thanks for the guys over at Run for Cover for helping us out with that one. Yeah, we wanted to just direct you to iTunes, subscribe, rate, review, throw us some stars, write something about us, tell your friends. iTunes is the spot to go for that. We also want to encourage y'all to ask questions. We're doing Tumblr still, so you can go to bridge9.com/ask. Ask anything. We also wanted to take like suggestions for topics or possible guests, because sometimes we don't really know what to talk about.
Pick the brain. Pick the brain.
Yeah.
Let us know what you want to hear about.
So I mean, if you're enjoying listening to the show, and there's certain things that you wish we touched on more, or anything, or guests, like granted, we're not going to be able to do everything, but we're going to consider everything. And if it's workable, we'd love to make certain things happen. But yeah, that's been it. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.